Okay, hello everyone. My name is JB De La Cruz, and I am a magician from the Philippines. And today we have a very special guest. Uh, he's known the best mentalist, and this is Inspire Magic Talk Live.
Mine, my writing was so bad, and I'm sure Kenton will happily tell you
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
that I never put a full stop in anything, but just a block of text with no full stops or commas or anything.
yeah.
And Kenton asked me to come on Skype because he'd
Mm,
seen a video, and I think the video
mm.
were called Geminus Cogito, which means twin
Okay,
thought.
yeah.
Um, and he came on Skype because he assumed that I'd pre-showed the person that were in the video. So
Okay, yeah, yeah.
and he said, "Could you perform something similar on me?" So I performed a few of the effects on Skype. It was the very first time I'd ever used Skype.
Okay.
Um, and he then said to me, "I'd look to publish your book." You know,
Wow.
uh, and and so he spent a year writing the book because I couldn't write, and he needed to
Wow, that,
rewrite the ideas.
12 months?
After
That's 1 year. Wow,
yeah,
1 year.
yeah, 12 months to write like a 40-page PDF, just because
Okay.
I couldn't write. So it came to a point where he was having to correct it, and during that process, he was teaching me how to write because it had been such a long time since I'd done it.
Mm.
And that book was called Devious Realities,
I think I
which were
have that.
the very, very first book that I ever wrote. And
Yeah.
that then, bearing in mind at the time, my job in sales, the rules had changed, so I lost my job in sales,
Okay.
and then I decided to work exclusively as a professional performer.
Okay.
Now, bearing in mind, I'd done a few gigs, but when I say a few gigs, I mean like I might have done two a month, one a month, or something like that. Really started to go at it hard for the gigs.
Wow.
I started, but I was smart. Like I knew that I wasn't going to be performing at big corporate events to start with, so I hit
Yeah.
breweries and I hit people that run like lines of
Mm.
pubs and bars,
Yeah. Is this
and I would
is this
do.
walking around like is this like a close up magic mentalism?
No, no, and this is the hard bit. I actually cut my teeth at the start of Escalators. I mentioned I'm in front of a bar called the White Hole, and it like
Okay.
pans down to me. And I'm talking about cutting my teeth in venues that were like that bar. And so what they do is they make a little space
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the floor,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then people who didn't want to see mentalism,
Yeah.
that didn't want to see magic, were
Yeah.
the hardest working class skeptics
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
And I perform to them, and I do a show. I do two shows on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, two shows on a Friday, two shows on a Saturday, a show on a Sunday, two if I could get it. Then I'd do like a Wednesday night, and then I was doing like
Wow.
poker demonstrations, and then I was doing colleges. So each week I
Each
were
weekend.
averaging
Yeah.
these working men's clubs. Yeah,
Yeah.
each weekend I was probably doing
That's
four,
full.
five, 6 gigs,
Wow.
and I was doing them for a guy called Kenny. And so Kenny's appeared in one of my projects,
Yeah.
and he actually, but I wasn't earning very much money.
Yeah.
So I think I was working. I think I was working at like £50 an hour or something
Yeah.
like that.
50 pound an
You
hour.
know,
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
yeah. So I would take in £100 on a Friday, £100 on a Saturday, maybe £50 on a Sunday, £50 on a Wednesday. I'd earn about £300, £400 a
Okay.
week,
Okay.
which is not a bad income, but it,
Yeah.
it was a step down from sales, so it
Of
plummeted down.
course. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Is this is where it gets really difficult because this is where
Okay.
you guys will have started to know me. Everybody was against me.
Who?
Everybody. If you go back 10 years and have a look in between Devious Realities and the first Penguin lecture, not one person was in my corner championing me. Not one person. And what it was is that the people were saying, "Oh, this stuff is never going to work. This stuff is this stuff is this and this stuff is this, and oh, it all uses this, and I couldn't express properly or eloquently express
Yeah.
anything." And then I did the first Penguin lecture,
Mm. So
and
Pete,
everything.
so these people are they're the people in the industry that's like doesn't.
Yeah,
Okay.
and do you know, a lot of these people today are my friends,
Yeah.
which is great. But that, and so it came to a point where the first Penguin lecture came out, and then it was, not to say it was so different because I don't want to sound like I'm saying that, but the feedback of the community was that, look, this guy's doing things so differently to what we
Yeah.
used to and what we've read, and I sort of rocked the boat a bit,
Mm.
and then I went and I had some harebrained ideas, some ideas that weren't quite finished, but at the time they were perfect for the time.
Mm.
Um, and then, we're talking. I mean, that were probably about six years ago, maybe 6-7 years ago, the first Penguin lecture, and then over 7 years,
Mm.
it's just been a whirlwind after that first Penguin lecture. It was the first time I'd ever seen more than £1,000 in cash.
Oh, congrats. Yeah.
Not to say how much I got paid,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
it was a very, just to give you an indication that it
Yeah.
took me right up until my very
Yeah.
first Penguin lecture
Okay.
to understand my worth. But
Mm.
this is, and again, now a lesson for everybody watching this
Okay.
is I then sold the rights to Freeform Mentalism for
Yeah,
$500.
Who?
I sold that to Penguin.
Oh.
When I started charging for performances, I
Mm.
stopped loving performing.
Okay.
And because loving what you do is more important than the money that comes with it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
performing's always been a creative freedom for me. Some
Yeah.
people go to a gym and kick the hell out of a punch
Mm.
bag. Other people pick their guitar up, and I
Yeah.
do that
Yeah.
now. And my creative output is, if you ever came over to Bradford, and you're more than welcome if you're ever in England, I'll take you out over to Bradford. I'm fairly well known, so if I go to the garage,
Wow.
people are like, oh, can you show this person something?
Yeah.
And I
Wow.
don't pay for my car repairing.
Wow.
Even if I went to a restaurant, I'm like, oh, could you please? And
That's
and
nice.
most people, yeah, I saw it as lovely,
What?
because I love that idea that it's a gift and I'm giving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it could be a pain if I were out with my son or whatever, and I didn't want to do it. But
Mm.
ultimately, the time came that I just decided that mentalism once it became a business. That's the best way to describe it.
Okay.
Because
That's good.
once it became a business, that's not what I've ever been about.
Yeah.
That's not what
Yeah,
this
yeah.
were about for me. We're about,
Yeah.
we're about connecting with people, and we're
Yes.
about, for the
Yes.
first time in my life,
Yes. That's good.
going from knowing nobody and having a small number of friends
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
being able to reach out round the world and be
Yeah.
a brotherhood and a sister. Have brothers and sisters round the globe that I could talk to about my
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
But then
That's
when it
good.
were like this company saying, can we book you for a live lecture for this? Can we have you just endorse this product? Can you send us a testimony for this? Could you do the performance for this? Can you give us a 10-second video of this?
Wow.
And then it all turned very quickly, and everybody wanted something. And all of a sudden, people weren't messaging me anymore to say hello. And people weren't
Because
messaging me anymore to be friends.
what? Yeah. Yeah. I
It
understand. Yeah.
come to a point where people were messaging me for something, like messaging me to promote this,
Yeah. Yeah.
or could you check this out? Could you give me some ideas for this? Could you do this? Could you do that? And I lost time for myself, and I went 8 months in between lecturing and time for everybody else without seeing my son.
You've been giving
And
a lot to others. You've been giving much of
Well,
your time.
that's it. I always, to be honest with you, JB, I always give a part of my soul.
Wow.
I always,
Amazing.
I always, I give a part of every.
Amazing.
It's my entire life. Do you know what I
Amazing.
mean? And
That's
you've got
good.
the way you've got to sort of look at it whenever you're dealing with a person
That's good.
is imagine it like a bowl of M&Ms,
Mm.
right? If I offer it round,
Mm.
if everybody keeps taking and keeps taking and keeps taking and keeps taking, all of a sudden the bowl becomes empty.
Yeah.
And we're at that point, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I even got offered. I got offered £5,000 to say hello at a big convention somewhere. I can't remember where it was,
Wow.
and I turned it down.
Pete,
Because
did you ever have a manager?
No, never had a manager.
No one applied
never
as
had
an agent? Never.
No agents. I've tried that whole thing, and my problem is that so the last person I spent time training were a cinematographer, and I spent 2 years training this cinematographer.
Mm.
And the problem is with it is if I ever have to look at what somebody's doing and then correct it, I might as well have been doing it myself in the first place. And that relationship, that partnership with the cinematographer, were the closest that I ever come to somebody ever working to my specifications. He
yeah.
just knew what I wanted.
Mm, mm.
But I tried a publicist, and by the time they're saying, "What do you want putting in this email? What do you want me to write this ad copy about?
Okay.
What do you want this about? What do you want that about?" By the time I've said it out loud, I might as well have pressed the memo thing on my phone to record a note and said it to myself.
Yeah. That's
Do you
you.
know what I mean? There's a little button on on iPhones now that you press,
Yeah.
and when you speak, it dictates and it writes it as words.
Yeah, that's nice. You don't need, yeah.
So by the time I've told them it, I might as well have just done it myself. And
Sir, that was an amazing, inspiring story, man. I mean, I didn't know that you were like, you started from there and then you've been through a lot. And then such a young age, and then you are a corporate guy, I can say, like a telesales, like I say, it's a, and then, all this, you were a bouncer and then you hit bottom and then you stand up again, you take the step, you act on it. That's very inspiring. And now that you've learned a lot from your mistake in doing business transactions as well. And that's a very good learning that you're telling us. Especially, I like it when you say that it's not all about money, right? And you have, I think, also one thing is you have to select a small circle of your friends that you're going to listen to. You don't need a lot of advice from others. Like right now, Peter, you're a known mentalist. So, is there any close mentalist friends around you now who's like, helping you around? Like,
oh yeah. The thing is, there's a very strange political divide in any sort of art form,
oh, like,
and
okay.
what happens is, like, for example, one of my good friends that's one of the most creative people I know is a guy called Atlas Brookins.
Okay.
He's a very smart guy, and the guy's got a brain that's
Mm,
so built for puzzles
mm,
and
mm,
mysteries.
mm,
But he likes to do his own thing and go off on his own path. And
mm,
so I missed jamming with him, and but he was someone I used to jam with. But he
mm.
decided to go his own way for
Yeah,
whatever reason.
yeah,
Nothing to do with me. But
yeah, yeah,
another friend I still have is David Sina, who I
yeah.
wrote the very first Isabella Star with,
Mm. Isabella
and
Star,
he's
yeah.
again another. Yeah, he's an engineer. He's a very
Yeah,
smart
yeah.
guy, and we worked very closely. And
Mm,
we were on
mm,
Skype every
mm,
day for over a year.
mm,
And
mm,
it was a breakdown that I had that
mm,
not put a wedge, but sort
mm,
of distanced.
mm.
Um, and then what tends to happen is, I, to be honest with you, and this is the if I'm being very very honest,
Okay.
um, I don't when I'm friends with somebody,
Mm.
I, it's more the friendship than
Yeah,
the mentalism. So, for example,
yeah,
Fraser
yeah,
Parker. I love
yeah, yeah,
Fraser Parker to pieces. I call him a pudding. He's a big pudding. He's such a lovely guy.
yeah, yeah,
And it just so happens, if we weren't mentalists, but we met each other, we'd still be friends.
yeah, yeah.
But then we also have the caveat of being able to jam with each other on mentalism
Correct.
related stuff.
Yeah,
And Michael Murray is another one like that.
yeah,
He loves a little whiskey. I love a whiskey. We love
yeah,
talking about stuff.
yeah.
He plays guitar now, and
Mm,
so we've been friends for a long time.
mm,
And the mentalism comes secondary.
mm. That's true.
And then, and so, but another genius is Mark Lemon. Mark Lemon's an absolute
Yeah, it's good also.
mastermind.
Yeah.
But we spend most of our time. We're in a group called the Cotswolds, which is a cottage that we go away to. Well, I haven't been yet, but I've been invited this year. I missed it last year because I
Mm.
was in Milan, I think.
Are you a member of a certain club?
No, this is just a WhatsApp group.
Mm.
This is a WhatsApp
Okay.
group, but it's got like it's got some really great people in
Yeah,
it,
that's
and
good. Hmm.
they're my friends. And there's I work with a guy called Dwayne from Illusionist,
Yeah.
and the interesting thing with me and Dwayne is like we never agree on anything, ever.
Conflict, but it's good.
If I said this looks good, Dwayne would be like, no, it doesn't. And if he says something looks good, I say it doesn't. And but we have this. We're almost like a married couple. They bicker.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's a good friend. I want to film a television show and I want to break it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask that later, but since you brought it up, is there any plan, like for Netflix? Dude, the Big Fish file, oh my goodness, I love it. I love it,
Um,
man.
so the honesty is, so I started shooting with a television company. So my second Penguin lecture, I mentioned this television
Yeah.
company. for legal reasons, I can't say who they are, but I did
Oh
post
yeah.
a photograph of a contract
Okay.
on my Facebook some time back, so you could go back and
Yeah,
find
yeah.
it. And this company had a clause in this contract that
Mm,
specified that if they offered me any type of shows, that I'd, in good faith, look into doing those shows.
mm.
And they started to want me to do like clinical type shows, like a Dr. Phil type show,
Okay.
where I sat in a chair and then I give people advice about depression and I use my mental, and I just said, no,
It's like a
no
psychic
way.
show.
Well, we started filming like Bigger Fish files. We started
Okay.
filming like that, and then all of a sudden it
Mm.
started to just move into that sort of field.
Mm.
And as soon as they started to want me to give people advice about their mental state and their health, and
Yeah.
to sit there and use mentalism tricks to fool people to think they were healing, I just said, nah, and cut ties with that company.
Mm.
I've, if I had enough interest,
Mm.
so this is something that I'm contemplating doing. Is,
Yeah.
you know, if I get enough people that say they want me to do it, I do the same as Bigger Fish Files, the
Mm.
format,
Mm.
but as a web series on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
Well, it's just about interest, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
there's enough people that want to watch it, then
Yeah. Yeah.
that'd be something that I do. But
Yeah.
so long, long story short, I have these harebrained schemes, and then I just bring my friends along for the ride. And so the next project with the 13 Souls, which is not going to happen, I'm specifying that it can't happen because of my contract with Illusionist. But
Yeah.
Illusionist, if you're watching and you want to make this happen, then fucking make it happen.
I'm sure Brad is watching. No. They're
Probably
they're
Brad
they're
watching.
nice guys. I love them. Close to Geraint and Lloyd. Yeah.
They're all great. You know,
Yeah.
they're all brilliant guys. You know, I'll tell you something. They've made me feel so at home, like Geraint or Geraint and
Geraint.
G,
Yeah. G.
which is
Yeah.
the same person. Gadget, Dog Shit, which is Lloyd Barnes, and then we have Brad Christian,
They're really nice.
and
Yeah.
Orban Jones and
Yeah.
Dwayne. They've all made me feel like part of the team.
Mm.
So we're going to start with an alarm clock ringing,
Mm. Mm.
and then you took your mobile phone
Mm.
or your device that you're watching on, and it says, "Do you want to go back to sleep,
Mm.
or do you want to wake up?" And you clicked it, and if you put back to sleep, I'd go back to sleep and I'd have a dream. And it said, "Do you want to have a fun dream, or do you want to create a piece of mentalism?" If you clicked on a fun dream, then something had happened. If you clicked on create a piece of
Yeah.
mentalism,
Yeah.
you could design the routine that I created in the dream.
That's good. That's good.
And then I wake up, and then I say, "Should I wear fancy clothes, or shall I wear these
Mm.
type of clothes?"
Mm.
And then it's, which shall I take, the motorbike or the car?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
want to go left at the end of the road or right?
Yeah.
And you pick the cities that I perform in, you pick
Yeah.
the people I perform
Yeah.
to, and we were gonna hire some actors
Mm.
so that what we could do is we
That's
could
good.
film like the stuff that was screwed on. So let's say
Mm.
it were a billet technique
Yeah.
where it was folded up,
Mm. Mm.
and it were going to work every time, not
Yeah.
anything psychological.
Yeah.
We were going to hire some actors
Mm.
to say, should we get this wrong or right? So you
Mm.
could see how I handled it if it
That's
went
good.
wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you chose, and then we were going to have a scene in a bar where somebody were heckling me,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then we were like, and you could decide if the
Yeah.
heckler heckled me more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you keep clicking heckle more.
Hey,
Heckle
there's
more,
a.
heckle
I
more.
think there's a show like that in Netflix. About the jungle adventure thing that you can choose your adventure. Whether should I pass to the rivers or should I go climb the mountain? And then
This is it. That's it.
something
Yeah,
like
and
that.
we're
Yeah,
gonna
it's
end it.
interactive.
You
Yeah.
know, yeah, we're gonna end in a bar brawl and
That's
stuff. And that
good.
was my next idea.
Yeah,
And
that's
we
good.
we put aside 5 months to film,
Oh, you did
which
that already.
no, we never got. At the time, I signed for Illusionist.
24/7, I think it's working even you're lying down. I think you wake up early, then suddenly you have this eureka moment. I don't know if that's happening to you. Man, how do you balance your life, man? The way you think. Like, you can be a director. You know what to do, you know the storyboard, and I think you're gonna be a good writer as well.
Well,
Uh,
I do direct, and when I'm on set,
yeah.
no, I don't ever get the title of
Mm,
director, but when I've worked on set before, I know I've learned so much, and if you watch the performances on Freeform Mentalism, and back at the
yeah,
time,
yeah,
don't get me wrong, I was
yeah.
still a performer, but here's another piece of advice that I've said on a number of projects.
Mm.
Excuse me, a choker. I've said on a number of projects. You can be a good live performer, and you might have done this yourself, and if you're watching this at home, this might be something that you've experienced.
Mm.
You perform live and everybody loves it, but then you film yourself and you watch it back and you go,
That's
"That's
that's
I
good.
look shit.
Ah, yeah,
I look I look shit. You
that's
know
good.
why do I look shit?"
Mm.
And the reason that you is because you have to perform differently on camera.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Your
good.
spatial awareness has to be different.
Yeah,
Your choreography has to be different. Your
yeah.
scripts need to be reduced down. And then what you find is, let's say, for example, that we're going to talk about this glass,
Mm.
you know, and I did the old Bruce Lee line about it being
Okay,
half full or half empty, whatever.
okay.
You could talk for a minute
Mm.
in live,
Mm.
but on camera you've got to sum that point up in 5 seconds.
Okay,
And so you get so used to cutting yourself down, refining it. And I almost imagine me
that's
as
nice.
a muscle that you're working out every day, you know.
That's good.
And then your ideas get bigger and better,
That's
and
good.
they seem so much
Yeah,
greater.
yeah.
And then you know, the day that Illusionist, I mean, we're just at a point where we're just getting into the early stages of our
Mm.
relationship at Illusionist. But
Mm.
the day that they give me a camera and just say, "You go do what you want to do," when I get that footage back, when I
Mm.
bring them that footage back,
Mm.
they're just gonna go, you know, what, this is so big and it seems so huge.
Yeah, all your
Because,
footage are good. Yeah.
well, just because I'm wanting to, I don't want to shoot mentalism the same. You know, I mean, come on,
Yeah, yeah.
let's be honest. Not to say anything about anybody else, because
Mhm.
you know, my favorite mentalists of all time.
Yes.
You know, if you look at Devil's Picture Book, it's just sat at a computer table or on a chair, you know, in someone's lounge, and the material is so excellent
Yeah,
that
yeah,
itself, you know, it promotes itself. But
yeah.
I've just never been really that interested in,
Mm.
okay, guys, you know, you're going to sit in front of me, I'm going to perform free tricks or free effects,
Yeah,
and now we're going to get into the studio to explain it, explain them. I've always loved the idea of,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
okay, I'm going to travel with a camera. I'm going to, if I go to Wales and I'm seeing like 1,000,
Mm.
you know, shooting stars,
Mm.
I want to capture them.
Mm. Mm.
If I'm in a hot spring in
Mm.
Iceland, you know, Blue
Yeah,
Lagoon, I
yeah,
want to
yeah,
capture it,
yeah,
and I want to do it from here. Freeform mentalism, you know,
yeah.
putting my hand on the chair and getting the fate tattoo.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Every day you think, every day you perform, or every day you, it's like it's a muscle memory. It's automatic. It becomes a part of you already.
And
So
that's it, 100%.
yeah, Peter, this is James Paulo Peregrino.
That's it. Hello, James.
Hi, James. Wow. So it's hi, Sir JB. Hi, Sir Peter Turner. How do you deal with a spectator that does not react whenever you're doing like a repeat in your mind principle? Yeah. So how do you deal with a spectator that does not react whenever you're
Well,
doing mind principle?
well, okay, so there's two pieces of advice that I can give you here. One is outside of the repeat in your mind principle,
Yeah.
and one of them's for the repeat in your mind principle.
Yeah.
So let's say you perform an effect,
Mm.
and somebody's sat there and they're not going, whoa, and they're not giving you a reaction. You've got to be very quick, and you get in there and you say this. You say,
Yeah.
I'm still inside. You say these exact words. I'm still inside your head,
I'm still
and I
inside your
can see
head.
that you're.
And
Are you
I
still there?
yeah.
So what you do is you say, I'm still inside your head, and I can see that I've stunned you to silence.
Mhm. Okay. Okay.
So if somebody's silent now, and
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
group of people watching,
Oh, that's
and they're sat
nice.
there and they're not giving you a reaction, and they're just
Yeah.
sat like, you then quickly say,
Hmm.
I'm still inside your head, and I
Mm.
can see that I've stunned you to complete silence.
That's nice.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
I look at everybody else and I go, crazy, right? And then
Mm.
I give them the opportunity to react, right? That's the
Yeah.
first thing.
Okay. That's
This,
good.
the second thing with the repeat it principle or the repeat it ploy
Mm.
is you'll very rarely come across somebody that doesn't react,
Mm.
but it's the way that you perform it. So,
Mm.
so if I said to you, you know, keep repeating your star sign in your head, like Leo, Leo, Leo,
Leo,
Leo,
Leo. Yeah.
and then just get moving, you know,
Mm.
you're
Mm.
not going to get a reaction from that because you've
Mm.
not. You need to sort of look like you're trying to work them out, and you go,
Mm. Mm. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
keep saying your star
Yeah.
sign in your head,
Yeah. Yeah.
just like Leo, Leo,
Leo.
Leo,
Okay.
like you're almost saying to them
Yeah.
without saying, "Is it Leo?" You've got to sort of give that
Mm.
look, you know. And the best way
Yeah.
to
That's
describe it
nice.
is this: you know, sometimes a look can make
Mm.
all the difference in the way somebody acts. If you're like,
Mm.
for example, imagine JB that you're in a room, you're with your wife's family or your family,
Yeah.
right? And you're at dinner, and your wife looks at you and goes, "You know that you're to stop talking,
I know. Wow, yeah, that's a good sample.
right?"
Logical.
And
It's
that's
true.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's based on a look.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at somebody, when you tell them to repeat it in their mind, you
Mm.
want to be looking and smiling slightly as
Same
if to say,
thing.
"Is this
Yeah.
it?"
Yeah.
And
That's
that
good.
one little smile and look
Yeah.
can make all the difference between them reacting and them
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. So I think all this, Peter, also it takes practice. Like, it doesn't just because if you don't practice it, it's gonna look awkward also. Like people will feel weird. You know what I mean? If it's not done naturally. So it takes practice. So you need to go out there and then just start practicing this. Maybe you can play the role, but it's more of you doing it correctly.
Um, well, that all comes down to you. It depends. I went to Argentina recently. I was in Argentina, and I was there with the world champion FISM mentalism winner.
Mm,
And this guy saw my show.
mm,
I did a show to the public, and he saw my show.
mm,
And then he was like, "I really want to book you to get on to the workshop." And he came to my workshop. And again, I can't name the name, but if
yeah,
you
yeah.
look up who the world champion physio mentalist is from,
Mm,
you'll be able to find out who it is. And he went on, and he's got coloured flags, banners dropping down. He's got like coloured smoke and
mm,
items and objects and
mm.
noise making devices. And I walked out on stage with just me and my pad. you know, and I think I was the one closing the show,
Okay.
and I did 30 minutes with just me and my pad.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you're very limited with the way that you can reveal something in that
Mm,
context.
mm, mm.
But let me give you. I mean, not to teach you to suck eggs because you're already clearly a celebrity mentalist.
That's Nomer, yeah.
Yeah, you're already a celebrity mentalist. So just think about this. Mentalism is not always about revealing information. What it's
That's good.
about is it's about making people think.
Mm,
So let me give you an example of something that I read a while ago. And this is not a piece of mentalism, but it
mm.
makes you think, and that's more powerful than a revelation. So if
That's
I
good.
if I asked you if I asked you, JB,
Mm,
if you were to choose between erasing every single memory that you've had up until now and only being able to make memories from this point, or
mm.
keeping every memory that you've ever had but never being able to make a single memory again, which would you choose?
The first one. Is it the first
So
one?
so you
I wanna.
you'd keep all your old memories and never be able to make one again?
Oh no, that's the second one, right?
Oh, okay. So the other way around. Okay,
Yeah, the
so
other one.
so you'd erase all your old memories in favor
Yeah,
of making new.
yeah.
If I said to you that you could bring one emotional piece of baggage from the past, one memory, can
Mm,
you think of the one memory you couldn't live without?
yeah. I can think of one memory.
And now when I reveal that, it's one of the most powerful revelations that you can ever do, regardless of whether you say it, whether you write it down,
Mm,
because the intro, the bit at the beginning where you ask that question, you'll have to excuse me as well. I'm very tired, but you have to ask that. You have to excuse, the beginning bit where I'm saying, "Would you do this or would you do that?"
mm.
There's this beautiful moment where people's minds go, "But what would I do?" Especially if they have
Yeah,
children, because
yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, I have to forget the birth of my child. I have to
Mm,
forget my
mm.
children's name. I have to. You'd have to forget your wedding day.
Oh my, yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
so,
yeah.
so what happens is your audience are already that moment that they're experiencing where their brain jars for a second.
It,
That's mentalism, right? And
it
so
makes me nervous also. It makes me like rattle inside. Like what?
yeah, that's it.
And then you want
And
an instant
that's
answer. It's
mentalism.
like I don't have any chance to think about it. Yeah, that's good.
That's it. So that's, and if you ask your entire audience that moment there is mentalism. It's electric. The room becomes
That's good.
electrifying for a few seconds. That could tell you what it is that you were thinking for entertainment.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah. Yeah, Nomer is a psychic. He's known as a psychic here also. He says, he commented. Wow, everyone is a nice insight, very brilliant, and oh my goodness, Peter, thank you for this much time that you've given us. You know, no one's sleeping. It's almost 4 a.m. We still want
Oh, you
more,
guys go to
but
bed.
but
Go to
but but
bed.
we know that you also have a lot of things to do. So, guys, if you are listening to those friends who are here right now, you can go to Peter's page. Just say thank you to him, a big thank you to him from the Philippines. And
Listen, guys, I'm going to come to the Philippines. I'm going to spend some time there. I'm going to come over and see JB. If you want
yeah.
to follow me, go to _Peter_Turner,
Hey, Peter,
and
you
that's my Instagram.
okay? Page is different. You don't have a page because I was looking for it.
No, because I don't really want people to follow me for that. I'd love people to look at my photographs and my artwork and my
Yeah.
music. And
Also, one thing. So, guys, follow him on Instagram. He's more active there. Yeah.
thank you for having me on your show. Thank you for staying up, and thank you. It's 4 in the morning. I can't believe you guys have stayed up. You're
Oh
absolute
my!
legends.
I also can't believe that they all waited for this. And personally, Peter, thank you so much. And as much as I would like to give you something, maybe after the coronavirus, I'll be sending you something,
You
man.
you've
And
given me enough. You've given me your time, and that's
yeah, thank you.
equal and relevant to mine. So, guys, take care.
Yeah,
Talk to
Peter,
you soon.
just one more thing, one last thing. So this is just a multiple choice. So first thing that comes in your mind, you say it. For example, Peter, A or B?
Eh,
Okay, that's good. We're gonna go this. This is only 7 items, okay? 6 items, okay? Peter, black or white?
white
Bicycle cards or tarot cards?
tarot cards,
Beard oil or hair gel?
beard oil,
Of course. Sharpie or pencil?
Sharpie,
Great. Centerfold or impression?
impression,
Car, motorcycle.
motorcycle.
That's it. Getting to know you, man. Thank you for your time.
Ah, there we go. I love. Do you know what? I absolutely love that.
Really? Thank you. I
No,
just
it's
I just wanted to have a light ending and fun. This is not about just
brilliant.
you made us all, you gave us hope. Your story. Thank you for showing us around your house, man. Stay safe, Peter. Thank you so much for your
Take care,
time, man.
guys. Thank
All
you,
right.
guys. Bye bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye, Peter.